Hello and welcome to another Ready to Ride Pilates for horse riders. We're going to be looking at your abdominal muscles today. They are so crucial for helping keep you connected between your contact and your upper body and your seat and your pelvis. So let's get going. We're going to start off with your abdo prep exercise. So I'd like you on your back with your feet and knees approximately hip width apart, so wherever feels comfortable, and find what feels like your natural neutral pelvis position. Take your pelvic floor, lift up onto floor 3, float your hands, reach for your toes, and then look between your legs. Take everything back down together. So it's pelvic floor, float, reach, and look between your legs. You're trying to really move through your upper body and your middle of your back, but trying to avoid moving through your low back and doing your imprint and sort of mini sit-up. So it's really just your upper and mid back. Be precise. When you school your horse, you want your horse to be precise, so the same applies to you. We're going to change it now into your oblique prep. So pop your left hand at the top of your neck or base of your head, keep your right arm by your side. Then you're going to float your right fingers, reach for your right toes, and bring your left shoulder towards or left elbow towards your right knee. Then take everything back down together. So it's float, reach into that turn. Once again, you're working through your upper and mid back. Try to keep your low back as still as possible. And you'll find this easier to one side than the other, so don't be surprised. You're just obviously over time trying to even it up. Let's swap and go the other way. So left hand by your side, right hand at the top of your neck, base of your head. Float your left fingers, reach your toes, and it's right shoulder towards your left knee, and everything down together. Once again, keep your low back still and try to move through your upper back and mid back. Watch that you're not pulling with your hand. If you find that you are, put your fingers around your ears instead, and obviously then you can't pull, you have to use your body. Okie doke, let's move on to your hip twist. So we're going to, obviously this works your hips, but this also really works your tummy muscles. I'll go through the couple of different versions that you can do. Start off with your hands onto your head like so you've got a little bit of feedback about where you are. If you're going to be going from the floor, you're just rolling one knee out and back up, and then rolling the other knee out and back up. You're looking to keep your pelvis absolutely still. And remember, it's a wine glass exercise, so the knee that isn't moving stays really still as well. If you're going to go from your tabletop position, same thing, pelvis stays still. You move each leg in turn, but you're moving the whole leg as you go. I'd like you then to add in your arms, so it's the same arm pattern whether your legs are on the floor, feet are on the floor, or you're in your tabletop position. And you're doing opposite arm to leg. So they move out together and in together, but they're going in opposite directions. Keep your pelvis still, and really importantly, keep your ribs sinking down towards your pelvis. So that really relies on your tummy muscles, your abdominal muscles, keeping you absolutely stable. So watching that you don't let those ribs creep upwards. That means your abdominal muscles are having a little bit of a snooze. Okay, we'll do one more each way. Last one. Okay, bring your feet down one at a time if they're up, bring your arms back down. We're going to move on to your double leg stretch. And again, we can do this either with your feet on the floor or in tabletop. Once again, start with your hands onto your headlights. If you're going from the floor, you're sliding one leg straight and back up, and sliding the other leg straight and back up. If you're going from tabletop, straightening one leg away, back up to tabletop, straightening the other leg away, back up to tabletop. Let's add in the arms, because this is what really adds in the challenge for your tummy muscles. Again, it's the same pattern whether your feet are on the floor or in tabletop. You're going to do a half circle out as you straighten your leg, half circle back in as you bring the leg back up. So half circle out, half circle in, half circle out, half circle in. And yes, this is a hip control exercise, it's a shoulder control exercise, but it really works those tummy muscles, because once again, you're keeping your ribs sinking towards your pelvis. And if your ribs are creeping upwards, that means you've let go with your abdominal muscles. So keep your ribs towards your pelvis, even as your arms and legs are moving away from each other. Your abdominals are connecting your upper body to your pelvis, your seat to your contact. Do one more with each leg. Okay, again, one at a time, feet down, arms down. We're going to go onto your side, and I'd like you into your capital L position. So we're going to do your side bend. Now, if you've got any shoulder discomfort, you might find this a little bit tricky. You can do it flat. You won't get quite the same impact through your abdominals, but you can still work some of your body. Okay, so top arm onto your top side, pelvic floor onto floor 3. Lift your pelvis and your top arm and bring them back down together. So that nice lift, synchronizing, lifting the pelvis and lifting the arm, looking for that controlled descent. And that's what really works these tummy muscles in here, particularly on the way back down. We can make it a bit harder by lifting that top leg as well. We're still looking for that control. Make sure that you're still breathing, always important, and that your pelvic floor is staying on floor 3 if you possibly can. Do 2 more. Last one. Fabulous. Okie doke. Then bring your leg back down if it was up. We're going to pop onto your front, and we're going to do your leg pull from this position. So I'd like you to have your hands together, look at your hands, pelvic floor onto floor 3, then you're lifting your pelvis and slowly back down. So it's pelvic floor, lift, slowly back down. Watch that your upper body stays still and you don't find yourself dipping down with your head. If you find this easy, tuck your toes underneath your feet. Once again, pelvic floor, lift your pelvis, lift the knees, lower the knees, lower the pelvis, or you can lift knees and pelvis together and lower them together. So now you've got 3 options. You've got pelvis on its own, pelvis then knees, or pelvis and knees. Provided, whichever one you do, you can keep breathing, keep the pelvic floor going, and keep your upper body nice and still. I'm going to do 2 more. Okay, then we're going to turn around and pop onto the side that you haven't already been on to do your side bend this way. So once again into your capital L position, and just as with the other side, if you get any shoulder pain, pop yourself flat and just do the slightly modified version. It doesn't work the abs as much, but it's still useful. So pelvic floor onto floor 3, we're synchronizing, lifting the pelvis and the top arm and synchronizing them coming down together. So all of these exercises work more than just one thing. So yes, the topic for this particular session is your abs, but of course we're working all sorts of different things. So coordination is always one of those. Let's lift that top leg and make sure you can still control that descent. Riding involves so much coordination, you cannot escape it. So the better you incorporate that into your training off the horse, the easier it will be on the horse. Don't forget to breathe, and a little reminder about the old pelvic floor if you possibly can. Okay, one last one. Super job. Okay, leg back down if it was up and onto your hands and knees. And I'd like you with your hands just in front of your shoulders, knees underneath your hips-ish, toes tucked underneath your feet, pelvic floor onto floor 3. Then you're lifting your knees and slowly back down. When you do that lift, it is literally 1 or 2 inches maximum. You're not trying to get your bottom right up in the air, so it's a little lift and slowly back down. If you're finding that easy, hands a little further in front of you, lift the knees, and then you're pushing over into that full plank position, back over and down. So vary it depending on particularly how your shoulders feel. And if you're going into the full plank, make sure that you go forwards and again, not up in the air. So it's forwards, that's what's really going to challenge your tummy muscles, actually, and your shoulder muscles too. Don't forget to breathe. And pelvic floor is a lovely addition if you can. One last go. Super. Okay, bring your hands up and you're going to come up to your, got one knee up in front of you, get your balance, then hands together and push forwards and up so you lengthen down through your tummy, so just where you've been working, and arms back down, and again forwards and up Good big stretch and lengthen. And back down. Then we're going to swap. Pop the other foot up in front. Get your balance. It's always a little bit of a strange position. Not one we do very often. And again, forwards and up. Lengthen through your tummy. And down. And again, forwards and up. And bring your hands back down. And we are going to finish there. So I hope you found that a useful session. Hope you enjoyed it. Always pace yourself. So if you found some of those a little bit hard, the next time you do this one, just do the slightly easier ones until you feel you're really ready to do the harder options. Look after yourselves. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon.